morning, children, and welcome to today's online classes. And today we are going to learn about the perfect tenses. So now let's understand the difference between the present perfect and the present perfect continuous tense. The present perfect tense is used to talk about finished and permanent actions, and the present perfect continuous tense is used to talk about unfinished and temporary actions. We use present perfect to emphasize on the result of the action. We use the present perfect continuous tense to emphasize the duration of the action. Present perfect tense indicates how much or how many have been completed, how many actions have been completed. And the present perfect continuous tense indicates how long something has been happening, the period, the duration. Now let's understand the difference between the simple past and the present perfect. The simple past talks about the completed action in a finished period of time. The present perfect talks about a completed action but in an unfinished time. Also, the completed action has no impact on the present for simple past tense, whereas for present perfect, the recently completed action has an impact on the present. Simple past uses the words like yesterday, last week, last night. Present perfect uses the words like yet, already, since, and for. Now, what's the difference between the present continuous and the present perfect continuous tense? No mention of the duration of the action is there in the present continuous tense. Though both talk about the continuity or incompleteness of an action, but in present continuous tense, there is no mention of the duration of the action, whereas the present perfect continuous tense emphasis is on the duration of the action. Let's look at an example. The turtle is sleeping. So, how long it is sleeping is not mentioned in present continuous. But whereas in present perfect continuous tense, the turtle has been sleeping for 3 hours. The duration of the turtle sleeping is given. Now, let's understand the future perfect tense. The future perfect tense is used for an action which will be finished before a stated future time. For example, he will have delivered all the newspapers by 8 o'clock. Will have delivered. This is the structure. And it's also used with the following time expressions like before, till, until, by the time, by then, etc. Till and until are mostly used in negative sentences. Let's have a look at the structure. Will plus have plus past participle. This is the structure of a positive or affirmative sentence. Won't plus have plus past participle. This is the structure for a negative sentence. Will plus subject plus have plus past participle. This is the structure for an interrogative sentence. Let's have a look at some examples. She will have finished the report by tomorrow. She won't have completed the report till or until 6 o'clock, as we learnt that till and until is used for negative sentences. Will she have finished the report by tomorrow? So we begin it with will. Now let's have a look at an example using future perfect tense. By the time you read this, I will have slept. Will have slept. I will not have finished this book by 11 o'clock. No, will not have finished. Will not in contracted form can be also written as won't have finished. Now let's understand the next tense, that is the future perfect continuous tense. It is used to talk about an action which will be in progress over a period of time that will end in the future. That means an action which has already begun In the past, continuing now, in the future also it will take place for a period of time and then end in the future. Example, by next March we shall have been living here for 5 years. So shall is used with first person I or we. I shall have been teaching in this college for 20 years by next July. By the end of this year, he will have been acting for 30 years. Now let's understand the structure of the future perfect continuous tense. For an affirmative sentence, the structure is will plus have plus been plus verb in the ing form. For example, in May, I will have been studying Italian for 5 years. For a negative sentence, won't plus have plus been plus verb in the ing form. For example, he won't have been working for the company for a long time when he becomes the manager. Won't have been working. Interrogative. Will plus subject plus have plus been plus verb in the ing form. How long will you have been living in this flat by the end of this year? And thank you.